If it's Monday night, oh, yes, it is ridiculously raw. Hello, friends. It is ridiculously over Anthony Floyo, the ridiculously over gentleman, once again with you for another interesting and newsworthy edition of Monday Night Raw. And I don't know what's going. I mean, I don't understand how we can have a crap show like Fastlane, yet Monday Night Raw for the last several weeks has been giving us these unbelievably interesting and newsworthy editions of Monday Night Raw. And for like the 11 billionth week in a row, we get an epic ending on Monday Night Raw. Unreal. I mean, a lot of things to address here tonight. Yes, there are some cutouts. I mean, what's a ridiculously raw without cutouts now? But as we continue on the road to WrestleMania 33 at the Citrus Bowl / Camping World Stadium in Orlando, Florida, on April 2nd. Oh man, so some news that came out, and I just got word of this, even though it was MF who actually reported on this just about 24 hours ago. Rusev injured. He's out of WrestleMania. That's a big loss for Mania, and especially for Monday Night Raw. He is one of the well, he's a middle of the road guy on Monday Night Raw, but that's something that I wanted to get off my chest real quick. And well, SmackDown Live is usually known for storyline progression. Well, Monday Night Raw had major storyline progression here tonight. And with that being said, I'm joined, of course, as always, by my elite panel. We have the host of the Cerebral Smack Talk, the one and only Good MF / Cerebral Viper, Michael Fletcher. We've also got the Phenom, Michael Bullock, and we have the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, the Twisted Angel, Dee Dee Woodson. And without any further ado, my friends, let's get into this. Monday Night Raw tonight from the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, Michigan, the home of the Detroit Red Wings. And, well, news to me, this was the final Monday Night Raw and also the final WWE event that will ever take place at the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, Michigan. Because as you all know, they have a brand new arena that's going to be opening later this year, and the Little Caesars Arena, where both the Red Wings and the Pistons are going to play. So I do assume that's where the next time WWE heads that way, it might just be in that venue. And I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see how this venue looks. So with that being said, let's dive on into this Monday Night Raw at the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, Michigan, the final event ever at the Joe. We started it off with the number one contender for the WWE Universal Championship, the one and only Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. And, of course, his advocate, his name is Paul Heyman. And basically, Heyman did his thing. And what else is there to say except another strong promo by Heyman that was summed up nicely by Michael Cole on commentary. I'm surprised they didn't advertise the Lesnar appearance, and I'm even more surprised that they told viewers this early in the show that your Universal Champion, Bill Goldberg, would not appear. But Heyman, doing what he does best, money on the mic, as usual, having fun with the fans. And it seemed like Detroit was in a zone tonight. I mean, the fans were jacked up, and it seemed like Detroit was trying to make a case to be another hotbed for the IWC. They definitely brought it tonight. And what else is there to say? I mean, every time Paul Heyman cuts a promo, it's money. It's money in the bank. I could listen to that man read a phone book, for goodness sakes. That's how good his promos are. I mean, he is a masterclass at promos. He's been doing this for well over 2 decades, from his days in WCW as Paulie Dangerously, of course, ECW, and now with this. I mean, JBL once said about the phenomenal AJ Styles on SmackDown Live. He said that he's just like Shawn Michaels, never has a bad day at the office. Same thing with Paul Heyman. He never has a bad day at the office. And tonight proved it. I mean, putting his man over, which is what a good advocate is supposed to do, and hyping up the Lesnar Goldberg Universal Championship match at WrestleMania. And I mean, there was even a point where the fans chanted Goldberg, and Heyman was basically in like "I'll wait" mode, and he said, "Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Goldberg is not here this evening," and it was a nice way of basically saying "shut the hell up" if you chant Goldberg. So, well done. So, and 3 words that come out of this: the late great Howard Cosell once famously uttered out the words, "Down goes Frazier." Well, Paul Heyman uttered out another new catchphrase. First we had, "Yeah, but," let's add another catchphrase to the Heyman repertoire. "Down goes Goldberg." And that is exactly what's going to happen at WrestleMania 33. I'm already calling it. Brock Lesnar is going to win the Universal Championship because Goldberg, rumor has it, is on his way out. So, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. You never know. But whether he has a new deal or not, Brock Lesnar is walking out of Orlando as your brand new Universal Champion, much to the chagrin of good old MF Michael Fletcher and all of us here in the IWC. And MF has made some valid points over the last few weeks. Universal Championship, your top tier championship, your number 1 championship, your most prestigious title on Monday Night Raw. Yeah, about that. Universal Championship is prestigious, yeah, but Finn Balor wins it at SummerSlam, and if he doesn't get hurt, that title is prestigious, because I know they would have given him the ball and they would have let him run with that thing. Trust me, they would have. They did it in NXT. They would have done it on Monday Night Raw as well. But he got hurt in that match with Rollins at SummerSlam. And then you put the title on Kevin Owens. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Owens deserves it. He's worked his ass off for it. Holds it for 188 days. But I'm sorry. As much as I love and respect Kevin Owens, and I do, I love his body of work. I'm loving his new character right now. He needed that repackaging. His title reign was a damn joke. Let's not kid ourselves. 188 days. How many times did he win on his own? None. And now you put the title on a part-timer in Bill Goldberg, yet another guy I respect, and I appreciate what he did in WCW. One of the reasons why, Monday Night Nitro dominated Raw in the ratings for all those years in the wars. But we need a Universal Champion that's going to be on the show each and every week. If I was the Universal Champion, I would damn sure be there every week. I don't care if I was hurt, if I was sick, I don't care. I would be there. And MF, you made some great points, and I'm glad you brought up those points. So, and Dee Dee Woodson, last week, she made a great point. This is a match that we've seen 11 billion times. For the love of God, let this be the blow-off. That's all I have to say. So, you want to make that Universal Championship prestigious? Yeah, you can. Yeah, put it on Lesnar at Mania. That's fine and dandy. But then what? That's the question. Then what? Yeah, but that's all I can say. As much as I love this, this promo segment from Heyman, Money in the Bank, absolutely phenomenal. A segment of the night for sure. Universal Championship, huh? You having 2 part-timers go at it. And Brock Lesnar with his quote-unquote per diem schedule. Yeah, but if any of us were Universal Champion, we would bust our ass to make sure we were there each and every week. Hell, I'd be a fighting champion. And you know what I would do? And I know a lot of people would probably question me on this, but I would be just like Bret the Hitman Hart, my idol. I would have been a fighting champion. I would have said, you know what? I'm gonna do an Anthony Florio Open Challenge. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put that title on the line each and every week. If I lose, so what? I'll bounce back. I'll get back. If you knock me off my high horse, I'll get damn sure back up. But honest to goodness, Universal Championship, WrestleMania. The fight's going to be a joke, just like the title's been. Oh, Finn Balor, brother. If you didn't get hurt in that match with Rollins, that belt would have damn sure been prestigious. Owens' reign was a joke. I'm sorry. 188 days. He never won on his own. He had to have help from Jericho, Strowman, what have you. If you're going to be a fighting champion, find a way to do it on your own. No one's going to be there to hold your hand and help you up. That's what I would want. I would want to defend and keep that title each and every week on my own merits, because I have way more integrity in my pinky finger than most of these guys do in their whole body. Period. And the statement and the quotation, MF, go.
And that last part is a comment from a stupid idiot. Anthony Florio, you are 1,000% wrong on everything you just said about Kevin Owens, and you should be ashamed of yourself. As much as I may not like Kevin Owens, he was a damn good Universal Champion, and I didn't give a damn that it was Triple H that gave him the belt, and that Chris Jericho and Braun Strowman and all those guys had the opportunity to help him. Why? Because didn't Bret the Hitman Hart, as World Wrestling Federation champion, had his Hart Foundation there helping him every step of the way when he was the heel? When you're a classic heel, you win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat. Isn't that something you always bring to the table, Florio? Time as your heel commentator. That is exactly the words you utter every single time.
The heel commentator, absolutely.
So don't give me any garbage about Kevin Owens being a failure as the Universal.
Yeah, but if Kevin Owens wanted to be the true champion that he is, he should have done it on his own, not have help.
Michael Bullock, classic heel player. You win if you can and lose if you must. It doesn't give a damn. It's about a championship, for heaven's sakes. You guys are blurring out about, oh, he should be. Nobody gives a crap. Talking about. You guys are losing your freaking minds right now. I cannot believe I'm hearing this garbage. That's all I'm hearing. That's complete and utter bull crap you're spewing right now. You're talking about honor and integrity. There's no honor and integrity when it comes to a championship. Are you kidding me? When you're a heel, what is the one thing you do? You keep the belt by any means necessary. Randy Orton, Triple H, Bret Hart when he was a bad guy, Hulk Hogan when he was a bad guy with the NWO. You don't think for 1 second that any of these guys won their titles with honor, integrity? Hell freaking no. I just cannot believe what I'm hearing right now. And that's
hold on, Fletch. Before you go off any further, there's another thing I just thought of. Eddie Guerrero, WrestleMania 20. I mean, even though he was he was a face, he cheated.
He was cheating the whole time.
It just came to me.
So
what I'm trying to say is I'm not talking about
because you criticized Kevin Owens about his reign as Universal Champion. That's what got you in trouble. No. That's what got you in trouble, because unlike you, I didn't have a problem with Kevin Owens as Universal Champion. That's why we could agree or disagree, whatever, till the cow comes home. I totally agree with you with everything else you said, but the minute you threw Kevin Owens saying that his Universal reign was a joke, that's when I needed to jump on you. You're absolutely wrong about that, and I'm making my point right here, right now.
Yeah, it was. I'm just saying.
So that's why.
With all due respect, I'm just saying, it was just uneventful for me. I just didn't have that feeling. I mean, some of the matches weren't even that good. That's what I was trying to get at.
Then that's Raw's fault. That's the writer's fault. Because to me,
You mean
Kevin
the
Owens,
Ritters?
Bullock,
Cheap little rotors.
Bullock, don't interrupt me. Not here, not now. I'm not in the mood. So I'm just saying, at the end of the day, look, I get it about the part-time thing. I'm not even going there because I'm already fired up. But when it comes to the championship and everything else, if you're a heel, you do it by any means necessary. And anybody who, and let me tell you, the IWC, they disagree with you, Florio, about that reign being a joke for Kevin Owens too. So we're gonna leave that at that. The real reason why, and it's the jump off about the promo by Paul Heyman, which was good. I liked it. I thought it was solid. I thought it was very plausible, very strong, and it is what you expect Heyman to do. You know, he needs to get over. He needs to be the strong guy. He needs to be whatever. And this is good hype for WrestleMania, obviously. But like Anthony is saying, this is most likely going to be a short championship fight. I'm thinking somewhere between 3 and 5 minutes. I think this could be like a UFC type fight. I don't think you're going to expect it to be anything more amazing than that. More stronger, whatever. Yeah, there is that criticism that I have about, well, Lesnar's gonna get the belt. I think we all can agree with that. Lesnar is gonna win the title, but my feeling is maybe here's the major hypothetical. Okay, Lesnar wins the belt. He gets the title. No, they're probably going to do something the night after WrestleMania because they always do. Why not maybe come back, challenge for the belt, and then he wins it? That makes everybody happy. That's a win across the board. Balor's back. The belt goes back to a full-time wrestler, and we get the prestige and the honor back. Now, look, that's hypothetical. We still got a long way to go. But as far as the segment goes, I had nothing bad to say about it. I thought it was solid for what it was worth.
Yeah, I agree. This was a really good segment to start off this edition of Raw. I mean, Paul Heyman, like you said, money on the mic as always, and basically trying to hype the match between Goldberg and Lesnar for WrestleMania. And yeah, I mean, you could. I like that part where he said, "Down goes Goldberg." It's almost like a way of telling the fans to shut up. With all the Goldberg chants. So yeah, and I do agree Brock Lesnar's going to win it, but basically, in my honest opinion, I don't give two craps about this Universal title match, and I'll even go as far as to say worst fight of the night for it. I mean, I know a week ago I said give it a chance, but after processing everything, I agree with everything you guys have said. And I mean, as a matter of fact, you know what? I'll even go as far as to say I'll take a cat nap during this match. I mean, because that's pretty much all I'm gonna say about it. So, Didi Woodson, it's yours.
Wow. Leave for a few minutes, you come back, and it's a cat fight going on. Oh, boy. The segment for me was, it was a good start for Raw. Have no major issues with it, so I'm not going to say too much more because you guys kind of went everywhere with it. So just move on.
Yeah. And before we do, if I offended anybody during that, I do apologize for that. But that was just something I really needed to get off my chest and something I wanted to get off my chest for a while. It's not often I cut a pipe bomb, but I had to do it. So,
it's
hey.
fair enough. And Didi, this was more like a Ranger versus a Red Wing. He hit. It was like somebody got hit hard to the boards. We just had to drop the glove, just go. Just let us get it out. We'll take the 5. We'll take the 5 for fighting, but we're done.
I understand.
Yeah, we're done. We're done, and we're moving on.
Exactly.
You got to remember, I'm in a house with 5 kids, ranging from 24 to 12. I get it all the time. And then I get it at work with 8 special needs men. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I feel you. So that's all I can say on that. I mean, if I got heat on that, I don't care. I'll take the heat. So but this is just a mighty man of God, a mighty man of faith here. I really wanted to get that off my chest, and man, did that feel good. Really did. But like I said, I mean, I think I just got caught up in the moment when I said Owens Reign was a joke. Let me just retract that and say it was just uneventful and it just didn't really click with me. That's all I'm saying. But because some of the matches were not all that good, exception being the Rumble match with Roman. That was amazing. But other than that, those other matches were rather, well, meh. So I'm just going to leave it at that. So let's go back to what we do best on this show. Have fun and really let our hair down, if you will. So, but we gotta start with a cutout here. We had a women's match. Sasha Banks with Bayley in her corner, squaring off against Dana Brooke with Charlotte in her corner. Sasha wins the match in 1 minute and 20 seconds. But we actually had an interesting payoff in the post match. Charlotte basically kicked Dana Brooke to the curb, and Dana Brooke fought back. Dana Brooke went to town on the Queen. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, Dana Brooke was not serving much of a purpose in Charlotte's act these days, and there is a shortage of healthy baby faces in the Raw Women's division. In other words, this actually was a logical move. And hey, it was a pleasant surprise that it actually got over with a live crowd as well as it did. Now, I know the scream's cut out. I know you guys don't want to get into it, but I want to talk to MF real quick because everybody knows, if you haven't been watching the show, MF has a major thing for Dana Brooke. I mean, that's one of his big 3. The other 2 being his 2 girls from SmackDown Live, Mickie James and Becky Lynch. But MF, when you saw Dana Brooke go to town on Charlotte, I'm sure you were gurring from ear to ear, weren't you?
Well, I was surprised. I was like, you know, I didn't know how to react about her being face, but I like it. I like that she stood up. I'm damn sure happy she finally broke away from Charlotte, and you know, now that she's on her own. But now this actually brings up a very compelling argument. You know, they've been hyping this return for the evil Emma. Could we see a situation where Charlotte tries to recruit Emma back, and then maybe we got the 2 besties that were best friends on NXT go after each other? Because Charlotte's got her mind on WrestleMania right now and the triple threat title fight. She's got enough on her plate. You don't need any more distractions leading into WrestleMania. But now Dana Brooke is like, you know what? I want my revenge. I want a piece of Charlotte because of all the disrespect and all the problems that I've been having. Charlotte's gonna have more on her plate than what meets the eye, and I think deep down that's gonna be a major problem. So recruit the one time Emelina was losing my mind when I saw that dress and everything else in LA. And then she pulls the tease on me saying, now I'm going back to the evil Emma. Well, hey, don't get me wrong. I love the evil Emma too. But Emma versus Dana, they were best friends. They were partners in crime. They were actually inseparable when they were on NXT. Could they be heading for a collision course, a one-on-one fight on Monday Night Raw? Just something to think about, Anthony. Very, very, very interesting, to say the very least.
Absolutely. And that's why I wanted to get your thought on that, because I know how much you love Dana Brooke. I know how much you love her body of work. I mean, not just her beauty, but also her body of work. I mean, something that drew the ear a little bit of Michael Bullock, because Michael Bullock, not so much of a Dana Brooke fan, but who knows? Maybe this actually might have swayed him a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, well, maybe a babyface turn could help out Dana Brooke.
It may be help you.
And this was basically her way of saying, "Screw you, Charlotte. I'm done with you. I'm tired of your BS."
Let's just say Lay Cool 2.0 is no more. Hallelujah to that. How about it?
Oh, yeah. I guess maybe they finally listened to us and said, you know what, maybe it's not going well. Maybe it's time to have them go their separate ways.
Even though indeed. I thought the Late Cool 2.0 was all right, but I think what happened was, unlike with Layla and Michelle McCool, they were two equal parts. In this one, it was really more teacher and pupil more than anything else, where Dana was the student, Charlotte was the teacher. That doesn't work. If it was two equals, then it would have been perfect. I think they just were. I think the formula was just wrong. Now, when Dana and Emma worked together, that was perfect. Peyton Royce and Billie Kay in NXT, that's perfect because there's two equals.
Let me just say,
and like that's this. Why, huh?
Yeah, let me just say it like this. I mean, we know how MF feels about Dana Brooke and Mickie James and Becky Lynch, and of course I got my thing for Alexa Bliss and Charlotte, and when it comes to the main roster. But the minute you brought up Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, oh
yes, I know,
Lord,
I know you love them both. You can't. The only problem is, Florio, which one do you take? You can't take them both. You had to choose one. Who do you take?
If I was pressed by a smidge, I would probably go with Billie Kay.
Interesting choice. I actually thought you would take Peyton. Honestly, for me, I thought you would take Peyton Royce.
Peyton Royce is great too, but I'll say it like this. Billie Kay, you know me and my Ric Flair style character or Fortune, Four Horsemen, what have you. She's a Tony Fortune girl. No doubt about it. She's got the look of one. Classy, elegant, style and grace. That's what
I agree. No, 1,000% agree with you on that call. Yes, absolutely. No doubt.
That's how I roll.
And Didi Woodson's probably rolling her eyes. Saying, "Oh my God!" First it's a cat fight. Now they're talking about the NXT women. Good Lord, where's this show going tonight?
Hopefully up in the ratings. That's what I'm hoping for. I mean,
yeah, likewise.
I'm hopeful that we can capitalize on that over 200 view performance we had with our Fastlane preview some time ago. But nonetheless, getting back to this, of course, Didi Woodson will have no say in this because it's a cruiserweight match. But the three of us, we're definitely going to have a say on this. Tag team match. The Brian Kendrick and the Premier Athlete Tony Nese squaring off against Akira Tozawa and TJ Perkins. The Brian Kendrick and Tony Nese win the bout in 8 minutes and 50 seconds as Tony Nese was literally pulling the tights and getting the win. And it was also announced, gentlemen, that tomorrow night on 205 Live, we're going to have ourselves another Fatal 5-Way elimination match. those 4 men I just mentioned, Kendrick, Nese, Tozawa, Perkins, and a double, Austin Aries. Those 5 men will go at it tomorrow night on 205 Live, and the winner of that match will face Adrian Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship at WrestleMania. I believe MF starts this off here. MF, how about all that?
Well, as far as the tag team fight goes, this was a good fight. I'm gonna give it a solid couple of stars, maybe 2.5 stars. It was good for what it was worth. Everybody played their roles really well. Nothing bad to say. But the 5-man tomorrow night on 205 Live, damn, I wish we had that show. We talking about this live, but unfortunately, Anthony will get into the reason why we're probably not, and we're going to have to hold it off for another night. But I'll say this. I said it. It's going to happen. My call is it's Austin Aries. It has to be Aries now. No doubt in my mind. If Aries wins this, look out, WrestleMania. You want a jump. You need a shot in the arm. You want the Cruiserweight division to be really like cooking on all cylinders. This will make it cook. I'm telling you guys, this would be like the shrimp on the barbie, or you could put a steak on the grill right now and cook it medium for me, man, because I will be at home with this one, man. Hey, Michael Bullock, it's yours.
What did you rate the match?
Between 2 and 2.5 stars.
All right. Just wanted to make sure. Yeah, I agree. 2 to 2.5 stars is my rating on the fight. I mean, yeah, it was good for what it was. So yeah, that fatal 5-way for the right to face Neville for the cruiserweight title at WrestleMania. Yeah, I'm going on a limb and saying that Austin Aries is winning that tomorrow night, and it's going to be him and Neville for the Cruiserweight title at WrestleMania. And all I can say is that's gonna be an awesome match. So yeah, nothing else to say. Florio, it's yours.
I actually went a little out of order on the docket because they had the Hall of Fame announcement. We're gonna get into that after this. But nonetheless, I'm probably gonna surprise a lot of people when I say this, but for me, based on the in-ring action tonight, based on the matches, this was the fight of the night for me. 2 3/4 to 3 stars. Very good match overall, as they played off of established feuds well, and they worked a nice pace. And it was also nice to see them get more than 3 minutes for a change. That was really good. The announcement of the 5-way definitely has me excited about 205 Live tomorrow night. The last 5-way elimination match, which of course we all know was won by the gentleman Jack Gallagher. That last 5-way elimination match they had was really fun. The best fight on that show yet. And I think this one's going to be even better, especially with Austin Aries involved and the WrestleMania title shot on the line. And what else is there to say? I mean, just absolutely. I believe I gave that match 4 stars, that last 5-way. I think this one could go even higher. I think this one has the potential to be 4.5, maybe even go all the way. I hope so. But there's no doubt about it. Austin Aries is winning this fight. There's no question about it. And we're going to get Aries and Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship at WrestleMania. Book it. Now, I did go a little out of order, but not too much out of order. Because, of course, you know, when we hear about the Hall of Fame announcement, we get into it. And today they announced who was going to be the recipient of the 2017 Warrior Award. And they announced that it was going to be none other than former Rutgers University football player Eric LeGrand. Eric LeGrand, you remember he was paralyzed in a game against the Army. October of 2010 at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. And it was announced today that Eric LeGrand was going to be the recipient, the third recipient of the prestigious Warrior Award as part of the Hall of Fame class of 2017. He'll be sharing the honor with past winners, including, as you all know, the first winner, Connor Mahalik, the inaugural winner, and then last year with Joan London winning the prestigious honor. And this year, Eric LeGrand will be the recipient of this award. And unsung hero, he won and this is not the only thing. I mean, he's also won the Unsung Hero Award by the New Jersey Hall of Fame. In 2012 at the ESPYs, he was awarded the prestigious Jimmy V Award for perseverance. His number was retired by Rutgers and was voted most influential person in New Jersey by the Star Ledger. And oh, by the way, Sports Illustrated in 2011, they voted his coming out with his teammates on a snowy night in 2011 as their moment of the year. Of course, he has this Believe fund, and he also supports the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation, and he had his Believe Foundation. And on top of this, guys, before we pay our respects to Mr. LeGrand, I don't know if I'm pretty sure you guys don't know this, but Eric LeGrand is actually a good friend of another one of my personal favorites, Lindsey McCormick, as you all know. Lindsey McCormick is a very good friend of Eric LeGrand's. They've met up a few times. I've seen some videos of some pics and videos of the two of them together on Lindsey McCormick's Instagram. So, and I know for a fact she's very happy for her friend to receive this prestigious honor. So on behalf of all of us here at the Wrestling Forum, congratulations indeed to Eric LeGrand, this very deserving recipient of the very prestigious Warrior Award as part of the Hall of Fame class of 2017. So we're going to open forum this. Whoever wants to pay their respects for Mr. LeGrand, floor is yours. Whoever wants it.
You know what? As a college football guy, as the lead analyst or the to be the Herbie to your Chris Fowler, Anthony, I'm very happy for this moment. Curtis LeGrand was very good. He was a good player, man. He was going to be what a lot of people thought he was going to be a star in college football. And, you know, a lot of people thought that, you know, he was going to be, he was NFL bound. I think he would have been maybe a first, second round draft pick wherever he was going to land because of the position that he played. The injury was horrifying. I think we all can agree with that. And and the thing is, he's not giving up. He's showing the passion, the perseverance, the fire that he wants to walk again. And I think that's what it is. He's an inspiration to us all. Is that, you know, life can deal some horrible things. And I think all four of us can say once in our lifetime that, you know, life has dealt us a horrible card, dealing with, you know, many things in life, you know, losing jobs, a death of a family member, something more traumatic. No, but, you know, his football career was cut short at such a young age, but he still is a part of that university. He's still a part of the Rutgers family. And the thing is, he is, you know, an inspiration because he's not giving up. And I think that's one of the great things about this Warrior Award. It doesn't matter what you are or who you are. If you're inspirational, if you're powerful enough, if your story resonates. And I really love this Warrior Award now because I really feel that there is honor. There is prestige now because it's showing that no matter what you do, it keeps fighting. It's like you're one day at a time. You're persevering, everything else. And I kind of had to equivalent, or I want to say it's almost like the Arthur Ashe Award for courage. Now, don't get me wrong. I thought that award was good enough, and it was honorable enough. But I think in the ESPYs, I think it's the Jimmy V. It's the V Foundation's award. That's the one that members it when it comes to the ESPYs. I think the Warrior Award is a great representation for the power of people and what the message is. And I think that's what it is. And for the WWE, Dana Warrior, her family, to honor this man with what I believe is one of the most prestigious honors in WWE, better than even a Hall of Fame induction. Because this is for the everyday person. This isn't about your contribution to wrestling. No, this is about what you do with life. And it symbolizes, what how you react from anything in life. And that's a message, a power, something that I truly believe is worth providing and worth honoring. And for me, congratulations to this man. He deserves it. Know his story. If you haven't heard his story, please go to youtube.com. There's so many great stories about this. And big up to Rutgers University, and I know they are definitely proud. I'm proud as a college football fan. I'm proud as a member of the Big Ten family because Rutgers is now in the Big Ten. So I'm honored with this as well. So for me, worthy of the victory. Congratulations. Anybody who wants it next, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, I mean, all I can say is, congratulations to Eric LeGrand. I mean, for being the third recipient of the Warrior Award, and yeah, he's just been an inspiration to everyone. He's pretty much become like a motivational speaker, and he's really motivated a lot of people. So yeah, I mean, there's really nothing more to say. Fletch pretty much touched on everything, so I'm just gonna give it to you, Dee Woodson, if you have anything to say about it.
All I'll say is congratulations, because I don't know a whole lot about it. So
that's okay, Dee Woodson. That's fair enough. So, but nonetheless, we're all very proud of that. I mean, there's not going to be a dry eye in the house. I guarantee you that. I mean, that's going to be one hell of a moment. It's always an emotional moment. That's the emotional moment at the Hall of Fame induction ceremony that we're going to witness at the end of the month on the 31st, on that Friday night before WrestleMania. So it's going to be a sight to see, no doubt about it. So I know somewhere Lindsay McCormick's got to be a very happy young lady. I know how happy she is for this young man and how close they are and how close of friends that they are. So check out her Instagram and you'll see some photos and or videos of them together. Really good stuff. All right, moving on now to our next match. Tag team match. Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe squaring off against the United States Heavyweight Champion Chris Jericho and Sami Zayn. Jericho and Zayn win the match at 3 minutes and 47 seconds via a disqualification. Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe got a little too amped up, and referee just threw it out. I'm sure this probably screams cutout, I'm sure, to you guys. Am I correct on this? Cut out, you guys, and I'll just take it for a spin. Yeah, I'll take that as a yes. So, all right. 2 to 2.5 stars for the rating. they're keeping Joe very strong here. He's not taking any losses and not taking almost any punishment since he's been called up. Maybe there's a chance they could turn this U.S. title match with Owens and Jericho into maybe a 4-way. Or maybe they're saving Joe for maybe Finn Balor at WrestleMania. Anyways, the match had a great energy. And I was just bummed it ended so quickly. I mean, I honestly thought this was going to be the fight of the night, in all honesty, but it wasn't. It was, however, perfect from the standpoint that they didn't give Jericho his revenge. They put more heat on the heels. I assume we'll probably be seeing more of the same next week in Brooklyn. And perhaps Jericho gained the better of Owens on the go-home show without giving away too much. It feels like Owens merely wants the title because Jericho cost him his title, not because it's important to him. So, but you know what? Fine for what it was, 2 to 2.5 stars. It was also announced that the Big Show is going to be participating in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. So much for that rumored match between him and Shaq at WrestleMania. That's obviously not going to happen now. And I feel bad for Big Show, but I can't say I was honest. I honestly can't say I was looking forward to Big Show against Shaq. The final moments of the Battle Royal could be entertaining if, when Braun Strowman joins Big Show in the match. So, no doubt about that. So, then we move on to the number 1 contenders match for the Raw Tag Team Championship. The Wrestling Forum's favorite tag team, Enzo and Cass, squaring off against Sheamus and Cesaro. No contest after about 8 minutes because Gallows and Anderson got involved and pretty much wreaked havoc. But General Manager Mick Foley stepped in, had a backstage moment with Anderson and Gallows, and basically jumped all over him and saying, you know what? Instead of having 2 opponents, you're going to have 4 opponents because we're going to have a triple threat match at WrestleMania. So it will be Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson defending the Raw Tag Team Championship against both Sheamus and Cesaro and Enzo and Cass. Michael Bullock, how does that strike you?
Yeah, the moment when I heard about this match, I mean, I knew something wasn't. I mean, we were going to get some kind of a screwy finish between these two, and lo and behold, I was correct on it. So, yeah. So, and as soon as I saw that it was a no contest, I immediately screamed that it was going to be a triple threat match at WrestleMania. So, this really doesn't come much of a surprise for me. So, NA on the fight since it is a no contest. Because, I mean, that is the rule here at the Wrestling Forum. If it ends in a no contest, it's an automatic NA. So, D.D. Woodson, do you intend to have any comment on it?
I don't got much comment on it either. Not really surprised it turned into a triple threat. It seems like most matches on Raw, when you don't have a clean finish, end up in a triple contest. So not much more to say about it, so I tossed it over.
Yeah, another great point, D.D. Woodson. I mean, we've seen this in the past many times. I remember there was a contenders match on a Monday Night Raw back in 2003, back when MF and I were, running around and raising all kinds of hell, I believe it was Trish Stratus against Jazz, and Victoria ran in, and that's what set up that. And what happened? It became a triple threat match at WrestleMania 19, and a very good one at that. And now we see it again here. I mean, and I think we saw something with the women earlier this year, and here we have it again here. It made no sense for Anderson and Gallows to run in because you knew it was going to lead to a triple threat, and now they have to deal with 2 teams instead of 1. Match wasn't bad. It just sort of existed and never felt interesting. Gallows and Anderson just couldn't act interested in this match any longer and had to attack both of their challengers. So what if they have to face them both in a triple threat at WrestleMania? At least the number 1 contenders match didn't drag on any longer. But I will say this, though. The pre-match, when Enzo and Cash do their usual shtick, I thought this was their personal best because they brought up March Madness. And I loved how they ran down all 4 of the number 1 seeds in the upcoming tournament, and basically talked about being the Cinderella story, and yeah. So that's all I can say. It's an NA for me as well. So MF, triple threat match for the Raw Tag Team titles at WrestleMania. Gallows and Anderson, Enzo and Cash, Sheamus and Cesaro. How does that strike you, MF?
It's gonna be a good match, no doubt about it. I thought everything was good for the most part. I really got nothing bad to say. It's just gonna be fun. Once we get to once we get everything down to the nitty gritty. So no, I got nothing bad to say about it. I think it's gonna be an exciting match, and that's it. So, the match was an NA. We just move on to the next part.
And it was Roman Reigns 1-on-1 against Jinder Mahal. Of course, Roman Reigns wins the match in 2 minutes and 55 seconds. Even though we did hear the gong of The Undertaker. But, of course, this is a cutout. We're not going to talk about the match. However, what we are going to talk about is what happened after the match. Roman Reigns called out The Undertaker. He didn't get The Undertaker. Oh, no. He got it. What he got instead was a man who knows The Undertaker very well. A matter of fact,
and known simply as Mr. WrestleMania.
And it was the man who The Undertaker retired at WrestleMania 26. MF and I know all about that. We saw it firsthand together at his house. The Heartbreak Kid, WWE Hall of Famer, the one and only Shawn Michaels. What a segment. Didi Woodson, I know you're a big HBK fan as well as I and all of us are. It must have been great to see HBK. I'm sure you were marking like all of us were. We had no idea he was going to be there.
No, I had no idea he was going to be there either. But yeah, I marked out when I saw him out there. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. This was a very good segment. I'm still not going to call it segment of the night, but very, very good segment. A lot of good points there. And still storyline progression because, we're still not through with Reigns and Strowman, even though we have Reigns and Undertaker coming up at WrestleMania. So it seems like that's the theme for tonight on Raw is storyline progression with sucky matches. So that's about all I'm going to say about it. So let's just move on. Or
yeah,
whoever next.
Yep. I got you, Didi. The appearance of Michaels was a nice surprise, and he was a logical fit given his history with Reigns. As much as I would love to think that Roman I would love to think that Roman did come off a bit heelish on the mic, means he's turning. He has not done anything yet that they can't chalk up as a case of him being confident going into his match. Meanwhile, and that's one thing I can say about that. And as far as the match goes, it was a no rating to a dud. Reigns selling for Mahal at all feels laughable, even with the distraction. He should have simply ran through him. Mahal is a nothing guy and is only filling a spot while Reigns is about to fight Undertaker. Reigns also claimed he wasn't messing around, but just went 50-50 with Jinder Mahal. Goes. Good segment in a really thin hour two. I dig the Shawn Michaels appearances like this. And the fact that Reigns showed, and he did show a bit of more of a heelish attitude there. No doubt about it. And that's all I can say. And just in case you're wondering, yes, it is official at WrestleMania. Roman Reigns versus The Undertaker. It is official. MF, your thoughts on the surprise appearance of Mr. WrestleMania, HBK?
Yeah, no, this is amazing. This was unbelievable, and this was wow. What is it to say? What an appearance! What a shocking appearance by Shawn Michaels showing up, and getting the Taker thing and the whole 9 yards. There's really nothing more to say. This is gonna be a lot of we'll wait and see what happens. But Roman Taker Mania, wow, unbelievable, and we'll wait and see what happens. So, Yeah, no, great segment after blah fight. Michael Bullock, it's yours. Unless he already went.
No, I didn't go yet. So, yeah. Yeah, the match was no rating to a dud. But yeah, the segment, I mean, was awesome. I mean, I didn't even know that Shawn Michaels was going to be there, but yeah, it was good to see Shawn Michaels there and basically giving him advice about his fight with the Undertaker. And yeah, during that segment there was a gong, but of course the Undertaker wasn't there, and yeah, Roman Reigns did have that little bit of a heel way, and when he said at the end that he was going to retire the Undertaker, and yeah, like you said, it is now official: the Undertaker versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, and we're gonna find out who's running the yard. So yeah, so there's really nothing more for me to say. So I'm really looking forward to the fight, and of course, this is the fight I'm looking forward to. Obviously, since it is my man, the Undertaker, who's going to be fighting Roman Reigns. So yeah, there's nothing else to say. So Florio, it is yours.
Yes, indeed. And we move on to our second cruiserweight match of the evening. Austin Aries making his in-ring debut on Monday Night Raw. He went one-on-one with Ariya Daivari. Aries wins the match, 3 minutes and 47 seconds. I'm sure this is probably going to be a cutout. I'm sure MF and Bullock are probably screaming cutout on this one. But nonetheless, I'll give a quick thought. Yeah, it was a short match, and but I'm gonna give this. I'm actually gonna give it another 2.5 stars here. It was not bad, but I still think they're giving Aries opponents a little bit too much on the offensive. Aries is new to a lot of people, especially the Raw audience, and even Michael Bullock, even though he's probably seen him a couple times, a time or two in NXT. But he needs to look more dominant, especially I'm going to replace the word if with the word when he ends up as the title challenger, because we all know he's going to win that. He's going to win that 5-way tomorrow night. Let's not kid ourselves. But and Daivari actually appeared to avoid landing on his head and instead took the fall more on his shoulder inside. It looks scary live, but hopefully he's fine. Another showcase win for Aries. The footage of Neville watching the bout is foreshadowing the expected WrestleMania match a little more than I would like, but that's all there is to say on that. So A-Double continuing to roll, and we'll see what happens tomorrow night. That 5-way is going to be all kinds of fun. Another cutout here, the Big Show against Titus O'Neil. Big Show wins in 1 minute and 50 seconds. Yada yada, blah. Trifle unnecessary. That's how I'm gonna say there. No rating to a dud. Worst fight of the night. It was what it should have been. Short. And then we had another women's match. We had it was a non-title match. Raw Women's Champion Bayley squaring off against Nia Jax. Bayley wins the bout via a disqualification in 8 minutes. Nia Jax, just like Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe earlier, got a little too rough, and the referee took it upon himself to throw out the bout. So, and Bayley was the winner via disqualification. 1 star, another one of the worst fights. The booking of Bayley is so odd. They gave her the title before Mania in disputed fashion. Not the best move for the big baby face. She then lost to Sasha Banks and then had her ass handed to her here. Bayley tends to work well with Nia Jax, mainly, of course, look at their match as part of NXT London about a year or so ago. But this largely felt disjointed and never got locked in. I mean, the question now is whether we'll look back on these Sasha moments as they set up for her turn or something as they play off as coincidence if she doesn't turn. My guess is we're going to get a heel boss run coming out of WrestleMania. And the real message wasn't from Jax. The real message was that Stephanie is smarter than everyone again. And she booked Jax against Bayley, knowing that Jax would rough up the champion that Stephanie dislikes. So that's basically all there was to say on that. So another one of the blech fights of the night, 1 star. If if you guys want to get into it, we'll get into it. I just want to be absolutely sure if you want to address it or if we should just move on to our final segment of the night. All right. Yep, move on. Okay. Didi Woodson speaking on behalf of the panel here. Yep, we will do just that. And oh boy, are we going to move on to okay. A segment that I thought was going to be rather it was going to be like okay, but what we got out of this. What came out of this. It was General Manager Mick Foley. Well, actually, it was we started it with Raw Commissioner Stephanie McMahon. She was in the ring. She brings out Mick Foley. She says, "All right, Mick, who are we going to fire? Who are you going to? Which member of the Raw roster are you going to fire tonight? Trim the fat here." And Foley said, it was a tough decision, but at the end of the day, he said, if I had to fire somebody tonight, it would be you, Stephanie. Oh, crowd popped big for that. And then they go, and then we finally got the blow up. We got the blow up of Stephanie and Mick Foley. But wait, there's more. Enter Stephanie McMahon's husband, the one and only King of Kings himself, the Destroyer, Triple H. And I was having flashbacks to 17 years ago when Triple H and Mick Foley were raising all kinds of hell. Mainly when Mick Foley was Catfish Jack in those 2 instant classic matches that they had in a 2-month stretch in the year 2000. That unforgettable street fight at the Royal Rumble, the Hell in a Cell match at No Way Out. I swear I was having flashbacks to those 2 matches, seeing those 2 go at it again. And then they go at it, and they told Mick Foley to get out, and then all of a sudden Mick Foley hits Triple H with the mandible claw, the Socko. Mr. Socko is back. But then Stephanie nails Foley with a low blow, and it looked like Triple H was going to beat the snot out of Foley, and then all of a sudden, here comes Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins shows up. He drops the crutch. It was on. Seth Rollins, Triple H, going at it. But then eventually Hunter gets the upper hand with the crutch and basically beats the holy hell out of Seth Rollins. So, whoa. Okay. Can you say storyline progression? MF. What a way to close another epic angle to close out Monday Night Raw for the 2nd week in a row. We had it with Roman and Taker, and now we get it with Triple H, Rollins, Stephanie, and Foley. Oh my Lord, what a segment.
Yeah, this was a great segment. Foley and Stephanie, unbelievable battle. Foley and Triple H bringing back the days of the Attitude Era, and fans were eating it up. Rollins shows up. He dropped the crutch. He started going after Triple H, and he looked good in the ring. I think he is, you know what? I'm going to say it. I think he might get the medical clearance. He might be good to go for WrestleMania. This might actually happen. Of Triple H and Seth Rollins, I think it actually might happen. This is unbelievable. So, great segment, great way to close the show. Yes, Triple H did beat him up. Classic heel move. Very vicious, Attitude Era type Triple H. The cerebral assassin. Cunning for basically the prodigy. Seth Rollins, and yeah, great way to close the show. Unbelievable way to close the show. Mike Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, certainly a great way to close out Monday Night Raw. I mean, we knew the blow up of Stephanie and Mick Foley was finally going to come to a head, and it did. And yeah, Triple H coming out and then basically Mick Foley surprising with the mandible claw, the Socko, and then of course Stephanie McMahon with a low blow to Mick Foley, and and just looking at it, I'm like, could the Authority be back together? And if that's the case, boy, are we gonna like that, Florio. Yeah, right. Yeah, Authority, my you know what. So, and then Seth Rollins comes out and looked like he was still hurt, but he was feigning it all along and said, "I'm fine," and and it was on, and then Triple H beats the crap out of Seth Rollins. Typical, like you said, typical Triple H as the cerebral assassin, the game. So, yeah, I think it's going down. Seth Rollins, Triple H, WrestleMania. You could book me on that. So, D.D. Woodson, I give it to you.
I would definitely say it was the segment of the night. I mean, out of the whole show, besides the other two segments, it's like that's all that the show was worth was segments. So yeah, definitely a very, very, very good segment. And yeah, I think Seth Rollins just proved that he's going to be ready for WrestleMania, and that we're going to have this Seth Rollins Triple H feud that's going to start. And I don't think anything's going to stop Seth Rollins from here on out meeting his goal of showing the former authority, or whatever you want to call the situation now, what he has to offer, that it's just that, he just wasn't what they claimed he was. He's all that and more. So that's about all I had to say about it. So it's to you, Florio.
Segment of the night, absolutely 100% agree. An excellent and epic final angle. This was the best that Rollins has come off as a babyface, and the Kingslayer shirt was a nice touch. Foley and Stephanie also delivered strong performances, and this was definitely the highlight of the night. It was good to show that Rollins is healthy. Sure, they did another injury angle, but fans know he'll be there now, regardless of how they try to frame it next week. I can't help but wonder how this show will perform in the ratings, given that the only thing they hyped was the tag team contenders match. I know they like surprises, but why not at least hype Stephanie ordering Foley to fire someone? But nonetheless, what a way to close out the show. No doubt about it. So that's pretty much it. And so now we're going to have we're going to get into our overall review of Monday Night Raw. We're going to open forum this. So whoever wants it first, it's yours. All right, I guess I'll start it off then. For me, I would have to say 5.5 to 6 out of 10 for this show tonight, mainly because of the meh quality of matches. With 3 weeks out of WrestleMania, and the focus of the show was largely on the drama between Mick Foley and Stephanie McMahon. Add into that the fact that the show was largely just there, and while they did some things to build Mania, it felt as if they were going through the motions between the opening and closing segments. I get that the entire 3 hours can't be peaks and that there will be valleys, but this week's show felt like a giant valley after Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman appeared, only really picking up at the end. Not much to recommend, but if I had to recommend some things, of course, the closing angle at the end, most definitely, is my number one recommendation. I would also recommend the segment with the post-match segment with Roman Reigns and Shawn Michaels, the opening segment with Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar. I'll give you the Cruiserweight tag team match, the one that I said was the fight of the night, Kendrick and Nice against Tozawa and TJP. I would give you that. And other than that, I don't think I can recommend anything else in good conscience other than those few things. So that's it. While it was an interesting and newsworthy show, the sucky matches, the meh fights really brought the rating down. So it's a 5.5 to 6 out of 10. So whoever wants it next as part of the overall review, it's yours. I see Bullock is ready. So Bullock, your overall thoughts on the show tonight?
Yeah, 5.5 out of 10 is my rating. I mean, the segments were good and newsworthy, but the matches were basically the ones that really killed the show and basically gave it the rating that I'm giving it. So yeah, and this is the reason why that SmackDown Live continues to kick ass in the ratings, and as long as they continue doing that, SmackDown Live will always be the A show. Nothing else to say. Whoever wants it next, take it.
I'll give it 5 out of 10. But the only good I can say besides the segments is that it had some storyline progression, but didn't really leave you wanting more, didn't really build much hype for WrestleMania coming up. Just hoping that, next week we have something better coming up, because we have like 2 weeks until, no, we have like 2 weeks until the next pay-per-view, which of course is WrestleMania. So they've only got a couple of weeks to really hype it up and get you all excited for it. But as of right now, looking at it from Raw's picture, it's like, there's nothing there to excite you, to make you really want to watch the Raw matches on WrestleMania. So not much more I had to say about it. So I will see you all whenever we have the next show. I'm going to go crash because I have to be at work at 7 in the morning. So bye, guys.
All
right.
D.D. Woodson, before you go, if you didn't read it on the Facebook page of the Wrestling Forum earlier on, the Cerebral Smack Talk has been rescheduled to Wednesday night.
Okay. I knew it was canceled. I just didn't know which night it was scheduled for. So.
And I'll have more on that at the end. So it's Wednesday night.
Well, I can't guarantee I'll be there yet because I got to go to Columbus to pick up a kid. So.
No worries. No worries if you can't. It's okay.
I may be missing SmackDown on that. So.
Nah, no worries. No worries.
See you whenever. So good night,
we'll
guys.
When we see you. Yeah, have a good one, D. All right.
Thanks.
MF, your overall thoughts on this interesting, newsworthy show, but rather meh for the most part.
5 out of 10. I'm just gonna be short and sweet about it. And Anthony is here. Tony's take.
Yes, indeed. And next week on Monday Night Raw, before I get into that, we're gonna have it's gonna be live from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. As we're gonna have Chris Jericho's highlight reel. His guest, he's calling his guest the real Kevin Owens. So that ought to be interesting. And then we're gonna get a return match from Fastlane, Roman Reigns 1-on-1, one more time with the Monster Among Men, Roar, Braun Strowman. So that should be a couple of interesting things to look forward to in Brooklyn next week. So, all right, 205 live time as part of my Tony's Take. We started it off with an in-ring segment with Austin Aries, interrupted by the Cruiserweight Champion Adrian Neville. Good stuff overall as they get Aries into the mix and are setting the stage for a feud with Neville. This is the kind of marquee feud that can really get the division some great momentum. We've already talked about that. In-ring action, we started it off with a tag team match. The outlandish Rich Swann and Gentleman Jack Gallagher against the Scottish Supernova Noam Dar and Arya Daivari. Swann and Gallagher win the match in 6 minutes and 15 seconds. Second best fight of the show here, 2.5 stars. Solid match with Daivari working more aggressively, which he needs to do. Unfortunately, the heat dragged and they lost the crowd before the hot tag. Akira Tozawa went up against a guy who the Brian Kendrick called a Brian Kendrick. Tozawa won it 1 minute and 7 seconds. No rating to a dud. The feud's doing nothing for me right now. Move along. Move on. And then the main event of the evening, the in-ring return of Austin Aries. He went one-on-one with the premier athlete, Tony Nese. Austin Aries wins the match at 9 minutes and 50 seconds. Fight of the night here. 2 3/4 to 3 stars. Very good match. They worked well together. But if you're not going to let them have a balls to the wall, kick ass, back and forth match, then this was the wrong way to book it. The match was Aries' reintroduction in WWE and an overall introduction to a lot of fans. This was an instant where Aries needed to go in there, run through all of his stuff, play the hits, dominate, and win. You're setting him up as a contender, and Neville is claiming that he's not worthy. He needed to show that he was worthy and the man here. Overall thought on this, 6 out of 10. Not a bad show by any means, but the show largely remains in holding pattern for me. Every week it is variations on the same things with solid but forgettable wrestling for the most part. But if you missed my announcement earlier on, tomorrow night on 205 Live, Austin Aries will square off against Steve Brian Kendrick, Akira Tozawa, TJ Perkins, and Tony Nese. Fatal 5-way elimination match. Winner will face Adrian Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship at WrestleMania. So that's going to be hella fun. I can't wait to see how it all goes down. And I'll share my thoughts on that next Monday night as part of my Tony's Take on our next edition of Ridiculously Raw next week. So that's that. And now we move on to Impact Wrestling. And it was the beginning of a new era for Impact Wrestling. The new ownership took over, and a lot. And this was a newsworthy show. Let me just say it like that. It was a newsworthy show, to say the very least. And let me just get my liner notes here. Most definitely a newsworthy show, to say the very least. I know a lot of people crapped all over it. There was one review I read that actually gave the show a 0 out of 10, if you can believe that. That's how bad he thought it was. But nonetheless, let's get into it. It started off. They had this video package showcasing the memories of TNA and back when they were NWA, TNA, and the whole 9 yards, which I thought was really good. And then we had a brawl with Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards, broken up by security, and then a change has been made to the broadcast team. Jeremy Borash is now going to be joining Josh Matthews and the Pope at ringside, and then basically Josh Matthews went into his heel Michael Cole bit. Josh Matthews is now basically a heel play-by-play announcer, just like Michael Cole was, a number of years ago. And we all remember how much we crapped all over that. I think Matthews is far and away worse and even more obnoxious than Cole ever was. Yeah, Cole was unbearable, but good grief. But it was a chaotic first 15 minutes, but not necessarily a negative in this case. The show opening videos were cool and framed the company's history in a positive manner. As much as I am not looking forward to hearing a bunch of bickering broadcast team members, Borash and Matthews, I'll be honest, they played their parts well. The negative is that the Edwards and Richards brawl already feels like an afterthought, but perhaps it will continue. Then we had a new tag team, Reno Scum. I'm sure MF knows a bit about these guys because we all know how much MF follows the independent scene. Reno Scum went up against Eddie Kingston and Bram of the DCC, and Reno Scum won the match in 2 minutes and 25 seconds. It was not the Global Force tag titles that Reno Scum wore. And the bickering between the broadcasters really distracted from the match, and it was hard to get a feel for Reno Scum as a result. I find myself being drawn into paying more attention to the broadcast team thus far. I do hope that they will eventually settle down and put the focus on what's happening in the ring. The best thing about this segment is that it appears they are teasing the end of DCC. They're 3 talented guys, but the faction has been a disaster, and I've been very critical about that. Braxton Sutter went up against Marche. We had a 4-way match from the X Division. Braxton Sutter, Marche Rocket, Caleb Connolly, and DJZ. Braxton Sutter wins the match, 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Here's hoping the X Division is more about singles matches going forward because no one gets over in these random multi-person matches. I'm surprised to see footage of the Heart and I got to backtrack there. So I'm going to give it 2 stars for the effort, even though it was a short match. So it was a solid match for what it was, and Fun outing, a lot of moving parts, but it largely felt disjointed and not all that smooth. I like the idea behind it, but I see we're still stuck in multi-match limbo for the X Division guys. Then we had a knockouts match. Sienna going one-on-one with the beautiful daughter of the legendary Paul Ellering, Rachel Ellering. You remember Rachel Ellering? We saw her briefly in NXT, as we recall, but now she's in TNA. She is, of course, the daughter of legendary manager Paul Ellering. You know, Paul Ellering, who was the manager of the Legion of Doom and the Road Warriors, and was also a part of the DOA. And, of course, nowadays, the manager of the current reigning NXT Tag Team Champions, the Authors of Pain. But nonetheless, Sienna won the match in 4 minutes and 15 seconds. Yeah, this was not a good match. I can only give it 1.5 stars. The ladies tried, and Sienna gave her a fair bit, but it was almost impossible to invest at all. Because Borash and Matthews continued to go at it on the commentary. Then we had an in-ring segment. Bruce Pritchard. You remember Bruce Pritchard, best known for his role in WWE as Brother Love. You remember him. He basically cuts a promo talking about the early days of TNA and talking about, you know, all that. Like most reboot shows for TNA, we get new this, new that, name drop WWE, introduce the next WWE guy no one really wants to see. Introduce a new authority figure, set up a title match, and title change to get some buzz. That's what one guy said. But I'll be honest, they were telling a story with Ethan Carter III, who came out. So we'll see where that goes. And, you know, World Heavyweight Champion Bobby Lashley was out. And then we had the TNA debut of Alberto El Patron, better known to all of you out there as Alberto Del Rio. He's now in TNA. And they set up a World Heavyweight Championship match for later in the show with Bobby Lashley defending the title against Alberto El Patron. Obviously, they're telling a story with EC3, so we'll see where that goes. The live crowd was hotter for Alberto as the segment went on, but I'm really surprised how flat it seemed when he walked out. Should have been a big moment, and my guess is the crowd was not mic'd well. I'm cool with Pritchard hosting a segment or being a manager. I know he's a podcaster now, but he looked downright dumpy as an on-air character. That said, I hope he does settle in as a manager because he can be a good talker. And there's been a lot of buzz that he could be Bobby Lashley's mouthpiece. There was a time when Lashley desperately needed someone to deliver his promos, but that's no longer the case as he's gotten so much better with his promos. And then we had another former mainstay in the WWE, Dutch Mantel. You may remember him as Zeb Coulter. He came out on the motorcycle, and he basically cut a promo. And what else is there's nothing left for me to say on this except this was a great promo by Coulter or Mantella, whatever you want to call him. The promo was well delivered, and Mantella came up like a nice guy rather than his Zeb Coulter character. I wish someone would take a moment to explain who the new ownership is and declare that they won't be appearing on camera if that's the case. All of these references to new ownership could lead viewers to wonder if they are building up to who the new owners are. I don't think that's what the company is going for, so some clarification on that would be nice. So, but that's all there is to say on that. And then that led into the main event, the World Heavyweight Championship match. Bobby Lashley defending the title against Alberto El Patron. Winner of the match in 17 minutes and 10 seconds. And new TNA Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion, Alberto El Patron. Okay. Nothing says Jeff Jarrett and Dutch Mantel and Vince Russo era TNA quite like ref bumps in the main event. The only thing missing was a guitar shot. The first night was filled with too much talking, not enough quality in-ring action, and a ridiculous amount of squabbling between broadcast team members. It was chaotic to the point that it was a damn near turnoff. The controversial finish was likely designed to get people to watch next week to see if the title change sticks. go on Impact Wrestling's YouTube channel, by the way. Something happened today. But creators should have been self-aware enough to know that doing multiple ref bumps and having a controversial finish to the title match made this feel like bad TNA, not a new beginning as Impact Wrestling. And by the way, the creator was more consistent than ever last year, so all this talk about making Impact great again feels awkward, to say the very least. I'm honestly, I'm not going to give it the 0 out of 10 that this one other reviewer did, but I will say to this, I really can't put a review on this. I really can't give this a rating. I'm just going to give this a no rating. I could probably go as far as to call it an incomplete, if I'm going to be real honest with you. They tried, but they just didn't, they just didn't think things through. So that's really all I can say on that. So I'm hoping that some of this, that this will get better as far as next week goes. So really all I can say on that. So incomplete rating is how I can give it. So now what can we look forward to the next show, which goes down on Thursday night? And well, let's find out. Hopefully out of this as I get into this. They had Eli Drake square off against Moose. And then Cody Rhodes eventually will fight. We'll eventually get Cody Rhodes and Moose again. This is for the Impact Grand Championship. Something will happen with the World Heavyweight Championship. Keep your eye on that. I'm not going to give it away here. We had the return of ODB. ODB went up against Rebel. Oh, that's be interesting. And then Alberto El Patron, he comes out in the whole 9 yards. X Division Championship, Trevor Lee defends against Braxton Sutter, Andrew Everett, and the return of another former TNA mainstay. Again, I'm not going to give it away. Bruce Pritchard comes out. He has another one of his segments. And we're going to have another return of another former TNA mainstay in the tag team division. And I know when MF sees who it is, oh boy, is he going to mark. Because the tag team that's coming back, one of his all-time favorite tag teams, if not his favorite tag team of all time in TNA history. Davey Richards is going to have a fight. Some other things. So that's all I can say on that. So read into it what you will. And we're just gonna wrap up this chaotic edition of Ridiculously Raw. So we want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. So with that being said, we're gonna do our shout outs. We're gonna open forum it. So whoever wants it first, it's yours, and I'll wrap it up with the future content, including a big announcement.
All right. First off, I want to say thank you to all the great fans out there who makes the wrestling forum, Strictly Sports, whatever, the best show in the world. You guys are the best fans in the world, as always. To the super fans, to the junior high and high school friends, to my 2184 crew, I love you guys to death. That's it for tonight. Other than Pounds, I'm out. Good night. Whoever wants it next, it's yours.
Yes, of course, shout outs to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to support our shows, whether it's this, the Cerebral Smack Talk, or the Strictly Sports. It doesn't really matter. So, of course, shout outs to all of our super fans. You guys know who you are. Of course, to our friends from our high school days, you guys know who you are. So, yeah, so, yeah, to Derek Ferreira, of course. Yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. So until Wednesday night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, of course, most importantly, stay safe out there. I mean, if you don't have to be anywhere tomorrow during this storm, just stay home. That's all I can say. So yeah, so until then, this is the Phenom Mike Bullock saying thank you all so very much for tuning in. And of course, you know the routine. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it a Fortune Force style. bye for now, and stay safe out there, everybody. So, Florio, take us home.
Yeah, we'll do indeed, Bullock. Of course, special shout out to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to make our shows as over as they are. We appreciate it as always. You are the best fans in the world. Of course, special shout out to Dee Dee Woodson and her family. Of course, we also want to give special shout outs to Matt Ward, Jason Hicksonbaugh, Daniel Luttrell from the UK. Our other first ladies, Kaiser Butler, Megan Silva, and Lexi Calloway, and our other crew members, Tommy Souza, Eric Carrier, Jimmy Alden, Al Braderson, and Rob Parsons. And of course, last but certainly not least, the man who puts it all together. Amanda's been very busy behind the scenes. Of course, that being our Imperial Grand Poobah himself, the Hardcore Pipe Bomb, Derek Ferreira. And some announcements that we need to make. Of course, want to let you all know that there will be, even though the Blizzard Watch in our area was canceled, Tuesday's show is still canceled due to weather. However, Derek Ferreira made the decision this afternoon that he is going to reschedule the Cerebral Smack Talk for Wednesday night. So it's not tomorrow night, Wednesday night. We will reconvene for the Cerebral Smack Talk. MF will, hopefully he can come up with whatever the best time to do that is. It'll either be 10 or 10:30. And then from there, Friday night, we got Strictly Sports. And guys, you're going to like this. If you didn't read the docket that was released earlier on, Friday night on Strictly Sports, we will recap the second round NCAA games, preview the third round matches, and we will provide live updates with no commentary, no NBA power rankings. This show will be all about the NCAA tournament. We're going to recap those second round games. We'll preview the third round games, and we will be doing live commentaries. So, and that's it. So, and then of course after that, next Monday night, Ridiculously Raw, as we continue to inch closer to WrestleMania. And MF just posted that Wednesday night, 10 p.m., we will be back with you for the Cerebral Smack Talk. So, so that's it. So until Wednesday night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, it's the ridiculously over gentleman, Anthony Florio, for good old MF, Michael Fletcher, for the Phenom, Michael Bullock, and in spirit, the Twisted Angel, Dee Dee Woodson, and the Hardcore Pipe on Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. And for those of you here in the New England area, like Bullock said, stay home. There's no need for you to be out on the road unless it's absolutely essential. I'm sure, Michael Flight, and that has the day off from his work. I actually got it from mine as well. They're closing my office, so I don't have to worry about reporting, and I'm sure the same can be said for Bullocks. So there you go.
Oh, my boss already told me to just stay home.
Good.
Even though I am scheduled, he said it's not worth, and plus it's probably going to be, no one's even going to be out shopping anyway.
Of course. So, and my offices will be closed down as well. So, I'm very, very glad about that, because there's no reason for you to risk your life and what we're gonna have coming in later today. So take it easy, stay safe. For those of you here in this area, we're praying that we'll get through this. We get through these things. Third straight month we've had to deal with blizzard conditions. We had a blizzard in January, we had a blizzard in February, and we're getting one here in just about the middle of March. So go figure. So, all right. So no Cerebral Smack Talk tomorrow. We're back on Wednesday, 10 p.m. with the Cerebral Smack Talk. We'll review SmackDown Live. Fallout from the AJ Styles, Shane McMahon blow up following the show last week. And I don't know what else they have going on, but I do know that was the big selling point for this week's SmackDown Live. So it's probably going to lead. We're probably going to get. This is probably going to make the Shane O'Mac, AJ Styles rumored match official. Obviously, we'll probably get some more stuff with Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt, the mixed tag, and the whole 9 yards. So that'll do it for this. So until tomorrow night for the Surreal Smack Talk, you've been watching, or I should say Wednesday night for Surreal Smack Talk. I'm so used to it being on tomorrow night, but so until Wednesday for the Surreal Smack Talk, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube.com. And remember, like I always say, no matter what anyone tells you, wrestling is indeed actually real. Good night, everybody.